So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. It's myself and Paddy again, and we're here to dissect Manchester United defeat today. Aston Villa go down 3-1 to Manchester United. Valiant Aston Villa first half performance. Man United, I saw a statistic that scored 41 goals, by far and away the most goals scored by any team in the second half. And Man United, scored 3 goals in the second half against Aston Villa to come out winners on a 3-1 scoreline. Paddy, talk to me about it. I suppose, first of all, let's do this chronologically as we always do. We met for the team sheet tantrum, and we were pretty happy enough. It was a team that we probably expect to play. But talk to us about the team itself and what way you feel the team set up, especially in the first half.
Well, I thought we were pretty good in the first half. I thought there was very little room for complaints. I thought there was a period maybe from 8th or 9th minute till the 25th minute that we were just excellent. We were much better than them in that period, and in and out of it after then. But I thought particularly from between those minutes until we scored, which is the usual, we score and we sit back a little bit. But I thought they were there for the taking. We should have pushed on and tried to get the second one. Didn't come to that, but thought we set out well. I suppose the one debatable thing that people were saying at the start was that Barkley was playing. And then people were saying, oh, I haven't seen Barkley. And I was going, yeah, you haven't seen Barkley. You also haven't seen Fred or McTominay because they're totally isolated because of what Barkley's doing. So, while he didn't have what you would regard as a great game, a great footballing game, he kept the two of them quiet. He kept the two of them out of the game. And it gave people space around them to work well. McGinn with a quiet game, I thought. In flashes, he did okay, but didn't see an awful lot of the ball. El Ghazi, I thought, was very quiet. Bertrand Traore did okay in flashes as well, as particularly in the first half. And Ollie Watkins. I think we know what we're going to expect from him every week, and it's a lot of hard work. But back four were fine as usual. And a lot of people calling out Douglas Luiz. So I wouldn't buy into that at all. I didn't think it was pretty fair.
Yeah, happy birthday, Douglas Luiz. Every man's entitled to go in and celebrate his birthday in peace, as opposed to having people typing shite to him on the internet, whether it be on Instagram or Twitter. Just because your football team lost doesn't mean you have to go in and break somebody else's state of mind by tweeting them. It's just not fair. It's just not really fair. And to be honest with you, Douglas Luiz might have clapped back tonight. And I think that everybody who, if you're messaging him and you're messaging him stuff and you're calling him this, that, and the other, and he turns around and, he claps back to you, well, then, what do you expect? He's a person at the end of the day as well. Just because he's a professional footballer doesn't mean he needs to take this. No, they get paid an awful lot of money. There's nobody in the world gets paid enough money to take shite from people who just decide on a whim that that person X doesn't care about their football club. So, lads, look, I think till the end of time, we're going to continue to say this. You back your own players. You don't try and hound them out of a club. You certainly don't go around telling them on posting stuff on their Instagram or tagging them on Twitter and stuff like that to tell them how bad they are. Look, just small bit of maturity there, I think, on everybody's behalf wouldn't go astray. And I think
there's a lot more to be annoyed about today, other than Douglas Luiz.
Absolutely, yeah. If you come away from that game going, if Douglas Luiz didn't start this match, we would have won this match, then you've got a very, very, very limited understanding of the game, I think. And that's not being high and mighty about it. But, well, if it is, I don't really care. Because Douglas Luiz, yes, the penalty was pretty silly, and he shouldn't have gone back for a second, third, and fourth nibble. But to go away and to start berating him on social media, no, not for me. Not for me anyway, people. Absolutely not for me. But anyway, far be it for me to tell you how to live your lives. I just think that it's pretty pathetic to go away and do that. Anyway, back to the game, Paddy. Back to the game. So we started off pretty. I think we started off pretty well. Yes, they had a lot of flashes, and Luke Shaw had a lot of joy down our left wing. Mostly because I think what we were trying to do was pin him back by keeping Bertrand Traore high, but we just couldn't get a foothold on the ball in the first 10 minutes. And Luke Shaw had a lot of a lot of the ball down our right hand side. Had a shot himself, crossed in a couple of balls. Rashford had a shot, or was it? It was Greenwood had a shot that he completely scuffed, nearly ended up with Rashford. And Matt Targett had an absolutely excellent tackle. Not only did he tackle Rashford, but he got to the ball and was able to clear it and make sure it didn't go for a corner. That was fantastic. But
like early on, Emi Martinez of note here, he'd a save from Shaw, he'd a save from Fred, he'd a save from Rashford, and he'd a save from Greenwood early in the game. So, you know, they got a lot of change down that left-hand side, their left-hand side. We alluded to that. Well, I probably alluded to it because that's what I said in the team sheet tantrum, that I was worried about Luke Shaw and the effect he would have on our right-hand side. And that's by no means having a go at Matty Cash. I thought Matty Cash did excellent. He did his job, but he just seemed to have the work of two men each time, and it just didn't work early on. Now I think Bertie came a bit deeper as the game went on and got a bit better at it. But as luck would have it, we were 1-0 up at that stage, you know. But either way, it's you know, it was a decent first half performance, and as I said, that period between about the 10th and the 25th minute, I thought we were excellent. We looked like world beaters. We looked like the team. We looked like the team that was sitting in second place and nothing to play for. Yeah,
nothing to play for, exactly. Like Man United, and we've said this quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, that these games are going to be a barometer, kind of a marking stick to make sure that the start of the season wasn't a fluke. I think what and I probably didn't make it apparent at the time, but I think we started off with Everton really saying that was going to be a marking stick, and we both said it as well today that this will be a good test of where Aston Villa are. We haven't shirked the test, I don't think, in either of the last two games. Obviously beating Everton, playing very, very, very well, and then Man United will know they've had a game today. They'll know they've had a game today, and they'll know they got away with one or two things in this game, and that is for sure. I think there was that you mentioned that 15 or that 10 to 25 minute period in the first half. I thought we were fantastic. There was a statistic came up. We owned the ball. I think we had nearly 70% possession during that period of time. You know, we were passing the ball around. I think what we've gotten really good at in the last couple of games is playing those little triangles in midfield, passing our way out of trouble and not just panicking and booting the ball up front to allow the ball to come right back down at us again. Now, we did do that when we went 1-0 up a small bit, and I think that's the growth process of this team. The team needs to grow into being comfortable with the lead as opposed to being rigidly defensive with a lead in hand. There was a lot of good triangles between Douglas Luiz, Barkley, McGinn, Target, Douglas Luiz, McGinn. You know, there was a lot of little ways that we were able to play our way out of trouble. A couple of times as well, and this is something I'm seeing that as the team were getting more savvy with the league itself, and we weren't really doing this in the first half of the season. Well, Jack Grealish was, because he just gets how to play football. But you've seen it, they get ourselves out of trouble. John McGinn would burst at players and, you know, maybe do a little kick and chase, and then as he goes past the player, got a little touch, went down, win a small free. That all the big teams do it. You know, all the big teams do it. We're kind of getting a small bit savvy from that point of view and how to play the game. Bertrand Traore did it a couple of times. We didn't see any of the wild passes across the field from Bertrand Traore today, which was good. So I think that, you know, when you distill this whole performance down, we will obviously talk about the 3 or 4 main points of the game, but when we distill this game down, we performed pretty well. You know, we performed. That's as good. That's a better performance than 99% of the performances last year, or for performances that we've had since maybe since the start of 2021.
Yeah, well, I'll put it to you this way: it's probably the first game that we've played that you can say, if we'd have had Jack Grealish there, we'd have won the counter. That's the way I felt about the game. I thought he would have created a whole lot more in the first half, and we could have easily gone in 2 up or 3 up at halftime. The way we were playing, I thought we were excellent. And he's a big loss. We've got to deal with that in the summer. We've got to get more players in. We've got to get more quality in there to go at these teams and put them to bed, because they will come back at us. And that's, we spoke about it beforehand. United are a slow starter, but once they get started, all it takes is one decision to go their way, and they're at you in your face, scoring goals and pissing you off. We'll get to later on.
The second they smell blood in the water, it's they have that ruthlessness about them. But they have that ruthlessness about them that having a team full of 30, 40, 50, 60 million pound players will give you. And Aston Villa aren't there yet. And we'll have to keep on, but I'm going to keep on saying this because people know this. But
and Neil, I hope we're never there. I hope we're never at the case.
Yeah,
we're going to be buying 34 million. Like, there's rubbish in there for what they've paid for them.
Yeah, 100. But still,
I don't think Harry Maguire dislodges Mings or Konza in that team. I wouldn't want Pogba in my team. All these players they're paid stupid money for. Now I know Pogba is a lot better than he was, but I hope it never gets to the stage where we have to compete with that kind of money, because I think the model that is being worked on at the moment is a sustainable model, but we will have to push out the boat a little bit. But if you're talking about buying 7, 8 or 9 players worth over 30, 40 million, that's not going to be us. I don't think it ever will be us. I could be wrong. The owners could have a plan to go and do this in the summer, but I just highly doubt it.
I suppose the biggest thing I was getting at there is that these players are all experienced and they know when to change through the gears, right, we've got them on the ropes here, we can sense this. Sometimes I feel that Aston Villa have the naivety of excitement almost, and then oh shit, we got a goal, and it plays on their mind from the fact that we got a goal, let's not concede, and then the second they concede one, they're like, it's like we've done it again, and we've done it a couple of times. So we've conceded 2 in a row, and this isn't a criticism of the team. It's I suppose it's talk of the evolution of when you have a team that's in consistent flux and consistent transition the whole time. Like, it's getting that down. This is the closest Aston Villa have been probably since the Martin O'Neill era to having a static and settled team. Martin O'Neill didn't make an awful lot of changes to his team, and it frustrated fans. Dean Smith is getting to that stage where he doesn't make an awful lot of changes to the team. Yes, it frustrates the fans, but there's a lot to be said for continuity and stability. And we'll get onto it in a moment when Dean Smith made an uncharacteristic double substitution later on in the game. I thought that was good. Actually, I thought all his substitutions were good today. But let's talk first of all about the opening goal we got, about Bertrand Traore's goal. John McGinn does fantastic work in the middle of midfield. And I think the ball goes out to Barkley, is it? And does Barkley play it into him? Or maybe it's Douglas Luiz.
Into McGinn, isn't it? McGinn, I think, plays the final ball, as far as I can remember. He's not credited with an assist because the Man U defender did get... Bertie got a little bit lucky in that the ball came off the defender, but he certainly didn't get lucky with the finish. It was a sublime finish.
Absolutely.
World-class finish, yeah.
Like, did he mean it? I don't care.
I think he did. Yeah, I've no doubt about that.
Where it went was absolute postage stamp stuff. Like, it just went right in the top corner. Like, literally, you can't get more in the top corner than that. It went down off the crossbar and post and in. Like, if you score one of those in the schoolyard, you don't shut up talking about it for the whole lot of the school year, So that's the thing. He does the sublime. He goes from the sublime to ridiculous in the space of 90 minutes. Does Bertie, but. Like, for what he did there, I hope that he starts to work on his game of tracking back, being more of a team, of a contributor in the three phases of the game, as opposed to just having this maverick. And we've known he's a maverick. Like, this isn't anything. Like, but he just had this maverick kind of will today, whereby he plays the little behind, little kind of Cruyff Turney type pass, get it past Lindelof. He comes off Lindelof. Then he just gets to it. I actually thought there was a deflection on it to go in the way that it went in, but no, clean strike, arrowed into the top corner and take a bow. It was fantastic goal, and up there, I'd say with our top 2 or 3 goals, I'd say, of the season. Probably his other 2 goals, but he could have the top 3 best goals for Aston Villa.
Possibly, yeah. You just summed it up really. You never know what you're going to get with him. I thought he did particularly well attacking wise today, but defensively just wasn't there until later on in the game when we were on the back foot and he was forced into that situation until the substitutions were made later on.
So we go in at half-time. Just before half-time, I did get the feeling that I wanted the ref's whistle to come. I thought Man United were getting ahead of steam coming up, and I thought that half-time would break their momentum. And to some sort of a degree it did. Yes, they came out, but they were still huffing and puffing when they came out in the second half. And then Pogba gets the ball in the box. And for all the world, all the money in the world, I just had a funny feeling the second he got it there. I goes, this is going to be a penalty. And Luis had the nibble at him, and then he went over and he got up and he continued to try and play the ball. And Luis had another nibble, and then he had a third nibble. And look, there's contact there, all right. I suppose those penalties are given all year. I don't think it wasn't a penalty. I'm not giving out about that at all. I think what the biggest thing is here, and I think that Douglas Luiz knows this. I'm certainly not going to tweet at him telling him that he's the worst in the world for giving away this penalty, because he knows this himself, that maybe the third bite of the cherry was one too much, and the referee thought exactly the same.
Well, there was no contact at all in the other bites. It was simply just shepherding, really. But Pogba knew exactly what he was doing. I don't care what anyone says. He knew he was inviting that kind of a tackle in, and the minute it came, down he went. And you got to ask yourself, Raheem Sterling yesterday. Now, this is where my conspiracy theory comes in. They're dragging out this fucking title race as long as they bloody can. So Raheem Sterling doesn't get his penalty yesterday and Pogba gets that today. Who are these clowns making these decisions? I'm not particularly pissed off with the penalty we conceded today. I think it was more of a penalty than our previous 3 that we've had. The Bruno Fernandes standing on, was it Konza last year, and then Pogba tripping himself up earlier in the season. So obviously this is more of it. There was more contact. If it was given at the other end, we'd say it's a penalty. So for me, it was a penalty, albeit a stupid challenge to make when he has his back to goal. But look, these things happen in the heat of the moment. You're protecting the zone. You think you're doing the right thing, and let's be honest, if he gets a big toe on that and pokes it away to safety, we're all clapping him on the back. So, what's it you say about the fine margin between a clap on the back and a slap?
There's only 6 inches between a pat in the back and a kick in the hole. Yeah, that's exactly.
And that's the 6 inches between him not getting the ball and Pogba, as we know, feeling the contact. As we saw in the last game when he gave out to Luke Shaw for not going down and he gestured. Yeah. Those that are watching on YouTube will see me gesturing just as Pogba did. So he put his 2 hands together as if he was simulating a dive, and he was caught on camera, and there was nothing said about it by any of the TV companies. It wasn't called out about it by anybody, because that's the way the game has gone. You're doing your... we spoke about Ollie Watkins last week against Everton, staying on his feet, taking on the shot and scoring the goal. He could have gone down, gotten Holgate sent off because he was the last man, but no, he got up and played on. And there's no reward for doing that anymore. There's no reward. Holgate should have went back. He should have went back regardless of the outcome and gave him a yellow card. So you're being rewarded for going down, and that's simply the way the game has gone. And the book has to stop with PGMOL or whatever they want to call themselves, that are hiding behind their titles and in Stockley Park or whatever they are.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna I hate the fact that we have to moan about referees, but it's just the way it is. They have created this environment, and they have to clamp down on it. And it's always us.
I like that point actually, Paddy, that you said there. Like, they have created this environment, and it's mad that the police have to police themselves here. And this is where it is. Something has to be done. From the point of view of even what are they afraid of? What is Chris Kavanagh afraid of there if he has a microphone and this guy can broadcast what he says? What is he afraid of? Does it make him look like he doesn't know what decision he's going to give? You know,
But
he
look,
should be mic'd up. He should be allowed to, like, yes, now I know they say that they don't want to mic him up because the players come at them and say some pretty vile things to the referee from time to time, but that's another issue completely.
Yeah.
Where players should not do that. And that's something that the game has, like, the game is very namby-pamby about that as well. You know, they don't really care about getting rid of that because it's great to get people riled up to see. And it happened today as well when Mason Greenwood and Ezri Konsa clashed. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was Marcus Rashford and Ezri Konsa. When they clashed, first thing, you see it, Harry Maguire sprints up from centre half, sprints up. McTominay's around him, I think it was as well. They were all talking about, he pulled his shirt, he was pulling his shirt. They were looking for a penalty. Like, Rashford wasn't looking for a penalty at all. These guys were surrounding the referee looking for a penalty. And like what are we doing here? You know, if somebody surrounds the ref should just start brandishing yellow cards. Players should stay away from the referee. The referee should be mic'd up. The fans deserve an explanation as to why penalties are given and what's going on. And, you know, there should be constant dialogue. You should be able to hear it. They do it in rugby. It's way more difficult to referee the breakdown in rugby. It takes all that shite out of it.
I'm not even worried about there being mic'd up or whatever. I'm just looking for consistency. And I alluded to on a previous podcast that I had written a letter to Mike Riley, if you remember.
Yeah.
And the basic context of that letter was that if I'm in a job and I'm given all the tools to make something work right and I can't do it, I'm sacked from that job.
Yeah.
And here is a man who's been entrusted with running the PGMOL or whatever they want to call themselves. And he has made an absolute farce of the whole thing. He has put the rules in for Premier League, for VAR, and he's made an absolute bollocks of it. I can't think of another word for it. He's made an absolute bollocks of it. Now, they said it's going to take 3 years to sort it out. They've done nothing different.
Why should it take 3 years to sort it out? They've enough precedent.
You know what? If they say it's going to take 3 years to sort it out, you've got to see improvement, and we're not seeing improvement.
Does that mean Mike Riley loses his job after 3 years if there's no improvement?
He should have lost the job after last year.
Yeah, you can be sure he's not going to lose his job.
No, he's not. No,
because the police are policing the police. You know,
exactly.
So like it doesn't make any sense here.
And this is the same Mike Riley whoever he's appointed to appoint these officials to the game, and he's appointed Chris Kavanagh from Manchester for the 6th time this season to referee one of the teams from Manchester. Sorry, the 7th time. As we said in the team sheet tantrum, his record now is 6 wins and 1 draw, and the draw is Man United versus Man City. So, like,
even if he's not a United fan, I don't care.
I don't care who he's a fan of. He shouldn't.
Even if he's not, he's from Manchester. He's got family. He's got friends that are all. And look, you can talk about conscious, non-conscious bias all you want. Why put himself, like, once again, I go back to this. They didn't have Gary Neville commentating today, and that's a start, you know, which is, well, Andy Hinchcliffe is a disaster anyway, but that's another side of things. Yeah. Andy Hinchcliffe, like, we give out about people not trying to be people's friends, and then I'm going to be a bit hypocritical here and say Andy Hinchcliffe wants to be everybody's friend when he's commentating, and he doesn't end up being anyone's friend. But anyway,
I don't find him impartial either. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Well, yeah, and I've absolutely no reason to understand why he, like, I don't understand why he isn't. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's not go down this route again. We're sounding very broken record with commentators there as well. Yeah. But you know what we were saying about Gary Neville. Why put yourself in a position like that to have the question being thrown at you that you weren't impartial? And just from a commentary point of view, there's no way Chris Kavanagh can stand over and say, I absolutely was impartial in this game, because there's just so many mitigating factors, you know, with regards to that. There's like, if I was hiring somebody in work and they were related to, or they were going out with a relation of mine or something like that, I'd remove myself from the hiring process due to the potential for there to be, you know, maybe some sort of conflict of interest there. And like, I mightn't have any direct relation with this person. This person could be like maybe going out with a second or third cousin of mine or something like that. But to stop, to like, so that I wouldn't be compromised from the point of view of having a question asked about me and my professional role, I would remove myself from that position and say, I can't do this interview. Can somebody else do it? And it's just basic common sense for me.
I've said on here before, back in the 90s, I used to sit beside Mike Reid, who was a Premier League referee at Villa Park. Mike Reid never cheered a Villa goal. I've no idea if he was a Villa fan. He never cheered. He never gave out about anybody. He was just there to watch a game of football. But he could never referee a Villa game because he was from Birmingham. But yet, we've got Chris Kavanagh, who's refereed now 7 games from the 2 Manchester teams in 1 season. Is there not enough? There has to be enough referees out there. We haven't seen Kevin Friend, our friend Kevin Friend, nobody's friend Kevin Friend, since that episode at Crystal Palace last year. So, you know, why are they getting Chris Kavanagh 7 times in a season? It's just you know, they're putting a hand out to be slapped. Really,
That's true.
I can't understand why this hasn't come up before. And
that's true.
There's a couple of incidents later on in the game that we'll get to, and you know, because of the fact he's from Manchester, you're questioning his motives in not awarding penalties or even booking.
Talk to us about that one. So the handball is what we're talking about here. Mason Greenwood. How is that not a penalty?
Well, you cast your mind back to when we played Man City at the Etihad. Matty Cash is a yard away from somebody and the ball is headed at his hand in an unnatural position. As we were told, his hand was in an unnatural position, level with his ear, and it's a penalty. And yet, today, hand, ear, no penalty. This is my whole point. There's absolutely no continuity in the decisions. None whatsoever. And it just baffled me. And the only theory I can come up with is they're trying to elongate this. From my point of view, it's a fraud of a title race, because the title race is over. Man U had nothing to play for today. You know, they're never going to catch Man City. They need one more win and it's going to be sorted. But yet, the title race is still on, and United won, and City didn't win.
You mentioned it quite a few times today in commentary, actually.
Yeah, it's a farce. It's an absolute farce. And it's the only thing in my mind that you know, people are saying, conspiracy theory. That's just how I feel about it. I think it's an absolute farce. That you just got to look at 2 decisions, 2 exactly the same decisions of where their hand was, and 2 completely different outcomes. It's just... The
thing for me that drives me absolutely scatty with regards to that is that it took them a damn long time to show a replay. And they showed it once or twice.
And yet something happened later on in the game, if you remember, and they were insisting on showing the replay, and we missed Harry Maguire getting his yellow card. Yeah, the camera actually missed it. They had to show us the replay of that then afterwards. But yet they weren't insisting on showing us what happened here.
Yeah. It was that was really strange. And look, we're not getting into conspiracy theory here. It's just annoying. It's annoying because that there would have been 10 or 12 different camera angles going from everywhere, that the producers would have been like, show it, quick, show it. So we've a talking point here. But I thought in real time it was a handball, and I still think it's a handball, because
everyone was shouting for a handball in real time. Everybody. Yeah. My phone was lighting up with handball on Twitter and whatever. And the ball hadn't got out of play at this stage. It's just a farce, an absolute farce.
It's such a shame. It's such a shame that little bits and pieces like this happen, because it just creates animosity between fans, is all it does. And that shouldn't be the case, because football brings people together. Yeah, you can have your tribalism of sport in your club and whatever, but now it's a case that you go on Twitter and you say, I think that was a handball, and you've got 40 United fans going, cry harder at you, and you're going, wait a minute, why should I be fighting with a Man United fan over this when the Man United fan had no control over whether the penalty was given or not? It's actually the FA, it's actually the referee and stuff, but the referee gets to go in and go home. And this is the thing about miking them up. They don't have any accountability, and we're shouting for accountability. Everybody's shouting for accountability since the Premier League began.
Accountability. If they get everything even for everybody, there's no need for accountability. There's no need for miking up, but they don't. So maybe that is the next phase. Maybe it is. Is there enough there to give it? It's Man United. Maybe that's what they're saying. I don't know. Nobody knows. We'll never know.
Let's go on to the second goal that they scored, Paddy. So the first goal obviously was a penalty. Second goal was Mason Greenwood. Ball comes in, turns Mings. I think it was a pretty tame shot. I think we had 2 opportunities to stop it. Number one, I think we should have stopped the ball coming in from the right-hand side before it ever goes to Mason Greenwood. And the second one, I actually think Emi Martinez needs to stop that. But commentators made a big song and dance about Mings. Yes, he was turned. I actually think it was a really good turn. I think it was a really good turn.
Way too easy for my liking.
He was, but I still think it was a really good turn.
Considering where it was, he didn't need to dive in that much. He had time to recover. And then I think he gave Emmy Martinez a decision to make. And just before the shot, he seemed to take a step to the right, which gave Mason Greenwood an easy target. It was a pretty tame shot. Probably could have dealt with it. But once that goes in, I think it's game over then.
Yeah, and I think so too. We did have a couple of chances where Bertrand Traore gets his foot on one and Harry Maguire dives in front foot with his head, and it just goes wide. I thought that was a goal. I think we did have a couple of chances, to equalise in the game. Obviously, the penalty would have been fantastic. Then they get their third, Cavani with a lovely header and call it for what it is. I think that was actually. I think United actually played into our hands slightly in the first half by not having a Cavani there. And I think that he did what he does best. He just patrols that penalty area so fantastically. What age is he? 34, 35 years of age?
35, I think, yeah.
He's like, I know that it's unlikely that this club will do anything like this in the transfer window, but I'm getting to the point where I would like to see a small bit of experience, maybe a 27, 28, 29-year-old come into the team to add that leadership up front, further up the field. Even when Jack Grealish is in there, Jack Grealish is a leader by example. I think we need a leader by stature, and I think Cavani is a leader. You see him; he demands things. He's nasty. He does things off the ball. He gets goals. People look up to him. You can trust him. He grabs he does it all. And I know he had a slow enough start to the season, but he's coming into his own. And I thought his goal was just really good. I thought it was just he gets himself with Matty Cash, and he gets a run on the Matty Cash, and Matty Cash is going to look back at that and go, "Oh my God, how did even know a man get a run on me like that?" But because of his physical stature and his size, there's no way Cash is getting around him again.
It's just great movement. Yeah.
If Cash does try and get around him and put his hands in him, where's he going? To the ground, and then it's going to be penalty number 2. So you're caught between a rock and a hard place like that, So, but he does get in. He does get a lovely header on the ball, and it's textbook 101 stuff. Run across the defender, give them something to think about. They're not going to foul you, and if you get literally just glance it off the back of your head into the away from the goalkeeper. Just that's how you teach people to head the ball in that instance.
Yeah, can't argue with you there. We might have a little argument now about what happened 2 minutes after the goal.
2 minutes after the goal, we have an Ollie Watkins running full steam, Dean Henderson coming out. And once again, do you know what? I'm going to say this, and you might laugh at this. I think it's refreshing to see a goalkeeper wearing a baseball hat. We don't see it enough. Goalkeepers wearing baseball hats. But
I have no problem with that at all. I think it's important. Yeah,
I think it's really important as well. Yeah, you should wear it. Like, it looks a small bit silly in 2021 because you don't see it so much. But fair play to him. He wore it because it was the best thing for him. But anyway, Ollie Watkins was going through. Once again, we're in a situation here whereby we're looking for consistency with the awarding of this penalty again, or the not awarding of this penalty. I'm okay with it not being awarded a penalty. I'm not okay with the second yellow card to send off Ollie Watkins. Chris Kavanagh, once again, like that was just like I like the double jeopardy rule that people have, like that you have for you. Well, if you give away a penalty, you won't get a red card. You know that double jeopardy rule that they brought in. It's bad enough.
Let's go back a little bit earlier though in the game. McTominay makes a cynical foul.
Yes.
In his own half, right?
Yeah.
The referee starts edging towards him. Then he kicks the ball away in the same movement. The whistle is gone a few seconds, and he belts the ball away, and nothing. And yet, this guy at that pace can call a dive instead of letting the ball go out of play and saying, "Stockley Park, help me out here. I'm either awarding a penalty or I'm booking him for diving." And you tell me the last time someone was booked for diving, because I can't fucking remember at all. I don't remember anyone this season. The amount of times we've looked at VAR and it not being a penalty, and the referee has never once. I don't remember one incident where the referee has come back and saying, "You conned me there, yellow card." It never happens. It never happens. But it happens today against Man United, and we're without our striker for Thursday. And that has me as mad as hell.
Especially
because
when there was contact. And once again, they played it twice and they went, no contact. Yet you can see it. There is contact there. Oh, he pulled his feet away. Well done, Dean. Well done, Dean Henderson.
he didn't pull his feet away. He made contact with the knee.
He made contact with him, and then he pulled it away. And then how many times out? If this was out the field, in the middle of the field, and someone slides in and someone has to hurdle them, and then loses their footing after hurdling somebody once that happens, it's still a free. I'm blown away by that one. Like I'm okay with losing to Manchester United in a sadistic, sad way, but I'm not okay with that red card.
Let's put that challenge into perspective, right? Ollie Watkins saw it coming and lifted his legs. And the reason he lifted his legs, if we go back to Ben Mee's challenge, as we always do on Wesley, your foot's planted and Wesley's out for a year and a half. And
Virgil van Dijk.
What did VAR give Ben Mee?
Nothing.
Not even a fucking yellow card or a free kick. That's what's fucking wrong. That is a systematic failure of the system. 100%. It's just laughable.
And the thing here is that the referee had an opportunity to go and see it again and rescind the yellow card himself, but VAR can't tell him he's to get rid of a yellow card because that's not their remit. They were only looking at to see was it a penalty or not. So the referee has made this snap judgment. He had VAR at his disposal. So if he doesn't give that yellow card, waits for VAR, goes and look at it and uses it the way it should be looked at, the way it's been used at all season, goes over and look at it and goes, oh, I don't think that's a yellow card. Or, yeah, I think that's a yellow card. I think I would.
He dived into that. Just the same way Dean Henderson came out, dived in, made contact. The referee dived into his decision, and it was stupid, and it was hasty, and he shouldn't have done it, and he should have asked VAR to check it. And I asked him to go back and see when's the last time someone was booked for diving. It's a fucking disgrace. I'm as mad as hell about that. The 2 penalty decisions that we never got is a fucking disgrace. There's absolutely no logic behind the decisions. Sky Sports, they should hang their head in shame as well for our treatment on what I consider the forced penalty kick in how long they took. Yet when there was a little itty-bitty needle, they show a replay and we miss Harry Maguire's yellow card. Like, make up your mind. Who are you favouring here?
Yeah.
If it's handball, show the fucking handball. End of story.
Yeah, prove it. Just show it, prove it, and get it out there, and that's it.
But be unbiased. You
Yeah.
You have to show every angle. Pogba's penalty, I don't know how many angles they come up with, and yet they could only show 2 brief angles of when Watkins was sent off. It absolutely drives me insane.
Yeah.
It's the same old story. The referees are making stupid, rash decisions, and Sky Sports are backing them up, and that's the way it feels to me. When you're a big club and you're bringing in that amount of money, Sky Sports are going to back you up, and they're playing to the masses, and I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. There you go. Rant on for the day. I'm just going to lie in my bed now and stay awake for the night.
Exactly. I don't really have much more to say about the game other than Dean Smith's substitutions I thought were really good today. Look, we didn't see the impact of Wesley, and we didn't. People once again on Twitter are giving out that they were made too late. I think they were made in fine time. I think they were made in grand time. Jacob Ramsey came on. He fizzed in a couple of nice passes through the middle. I really want to see Jacob Ramsey being brought on when he doesn't have to change the game. I think a couple of times he's been brought on. The expectation has been for him to completely change up the game. We know against, was it Liverpool? In the second game versus Liverpool, where he lost Trent Alexander-Arnold for the winner. But look, we're not digging him out. Fantastic. You just see it. He's got it. He's got stuff in his feet that he's going to really come on. Keenan Davis, just a small bit gun shy today. Just could have had a shot himself, laid it across to Ollie Watkins. Another one of those great chances that we had. I suppose the big question now, Paddy, is who
badly in that decision. I thought that was an adequate enough decision. He was on an angle. You fucking Andy Hinchcliffe calling him out. Like, Andy Hinchcliffe, what would he have done in that decision, in that position? Well, he wouldn't have been there because you have to back the full-back to get something on it at that stage. So I thought he was right to pass it across to Keenan.
Well, I don't think it was a horrible decision. I would have liked to have seen him take a shot for his own confidence. Just knowing what we know now, and hindsight is 2020, I would have liked to have seen him take a shot. And the big question here, Paddy, is does he start over Wesley on Thursday night?
Well, I think he will, for the simple reason that I don't think Wesley is fully fit yet. So,
Or Paddy,
yeah.
do we see Captain Jack back in the left on the left side and Bertrand Traore up front? I'd love to see that.
And who on the right?
El Ghazi.
El Ghazi on the right, possibly.
Why not? Like I think I'd like. I don't know what. Look, we've nothing to lose by it. I don't think it happens. I think Keenan Davis is going to start, and I think Keenan Davis will come off at 73 minutes, and Wesley will come on. And I think that Ross Barkley plays in the middle of midfield again. I think Louise will come out, and I think he'll bring in the Nakamba, because that's what he tends to do when Louise makes a small bit of a mistake. The next game, Louise comes out and Nakamba goes in. But I think that's
we will see a bit of change anyway, because it is
Thursday, Sunday.
So they are going to they're going to mix it up for sure. But how they mix it up now will be interesting. Now that they actually physically have to make a decision, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two players who had played every minute of the season they were on the pitch today, but Ollie Watkins and Harry Maguire didn't end up playing every minute of the season for a finish. One through. Do you know what? In a way, I hope Harry Maguire isn't injured. Because it looked like it was a nasty, like it was just one of those ones. It was actually strange. It was strange the way it happened, but he just got rolled up on. That's a common injury you see in rugby. You see that in NFL, and it's like a sprain of a medial ligament somewhere thereabouts, and it could be 6 weeks. Could derail him from Euros. But
Neil, in the words of Jim Royle, I couldn't give a shiny shite about Harry Maguire.
Yeah, but still, you don't see people getting too badly injured in freak accidents like that either. But
Harry Maguire couldn't care less about Aston Villa, and he's a cheat, and he's in the referee's face every time the ball goes out. So tough shitski. That's the way I look at it.
Well, yeah, maybe so. Well, we're going to be back before the Everton game. We'll be back actually pretty soon. We may be back tomorrow night with an Everton preview, and then we're going to try and get the team sheet tantrum out for the Everton game. It would have been beautiful to be able to do it at 10 to. Actually, Paddy, I'm once again I'm signing you up for something I don't even know if you're available to do, because it's going to be like, if it's 6 o'clock, we're going to be looking at like 10 to 5 on Thursday night. So for a team sheet tantrum.
I think we'll be okay this week. The following week might be a problem.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll carry on regardless. We'll struggle on and we'll see what happens. But look, we've got a small bit off our chest tonight.
And I'm going to get some more off my chest before you finish up, because something really important happened today. And a big shout out to Aston Villa women's team, who pulled it out of the bag when it was needed today and got their point against Arsenal and stayed up and will play Premier League football next year. The only disappointed is it wasn't at the expense of Birmingham City.
But there you go. Yeah, you can't have it all.
I am going to commit to next season, when the derby is on, to go over that weekend for a long weekend and go to the Villa Birmingham derby with the ladies and go to whoever we're playing on the other day.
I'll join you, because I just need an excuse to get out of the country. That's all I'm at the moment. And I'll definitely need an excuse to get out of the house at that stage, I think.
There's been a huge investment in the team. Fair play to our owners. They've
more
really
to come, I would imagine.
Pardon?
More to come, especially we'll bring in. They've got a nice coaching squad, coaching staff inside there. Obviously, they brought in Marcus Bignam, but I'm so sorry. The name of the coach that was there previously that's still involved has just flown my mind. Apologies to her for that, but there's some nice things happening there in the women's team. And we had Adam Ripa, should I say, on previously to talk to us at a midway point of the women's league, and to be able to mix it up there and stay up there in the first season, you can only build from there. Listen, if they have the same magical transformation like our men's team had this year after only staying up in the last day last season, well, I think we'll be absolutely delighted.
Oh, of course.
So congratulations to them, and well done to Aston Villa's women's team as well. And long may they stay in the Super League and drive on from there. Paddy, do we have a man in the match?
Do we have a man in the match? Tough one. Are you asking me to pick it, or are you picking
No,
it?
I'm asking you to pick it. You know I defer on the man of the match every single chance I get to you.
Yeah, there's one man in particular that slags off my man of the match every week for some strange reason. Messages me on Twitter. But anyway, for today, I'm going to give the man of the match to Matty Targett. I thought he was excellent today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think both left backs can be really, really happy with their performances today. Luke Shaw was really good. Matty Targett was just as good. You know, it's a position of strength. I think for Gareth Southgate. While I would be surprised if Matty Targett made it on the plane. You know, it must be good to know from a Gareth Southgate point of view that he has people like Chilwell, like Shaw, like Matty Targett at his disposal, and you never know. He could be a bolter for the squad. That does go to the Euros, but
you
look,
never know if somebody picks up some kind of injury. I would say he's next in line to be in there. So
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
So look, he's been one of our shining lights this season for sure. Wouldn't have a bad word said against him. All you want. The team has progressed. He's progressed with it. I think he's been absolutely excellent all season, and will be up there for consideration for player of the season for me. So yeah, I can't pick out anyone that had a better performance. I thought he was excellent today.
Yeah, well done, Matty Cash, man of the match from Aston Villa point of view. Also, my bet came in for Henry the Brave today again. It's only a modest, meager bet, but still, you know, we're up to 62. I've 62 euros now in the pot for the Henry the Brave donation that I'll make at the end of the season. So that's 62 euros that can't be touched. It's not like I'm going to bet that and lose it. That's a definite 62 euros. I'm hoping to try and get it up to 100 euros or more before the end of the season. Look, it's only something small, but and Henry was the mascot today as well, virtual mascot for the game as well today. So congratulations to him and congratulations to his family. And it was great to see on the Titantron or the whatever you call it in the stadium. I'm getting very wrestling there with that word, but it's great to see it. So look, well done to everybody involved with the virtual mascots as well, because it's fantastic to see the community aspect of the club as well still being brought to the fore as well, and that was as part, I think, of the Aston Villa Foundation that was put on there. So thanks everybody once again for listening. Really, really appreciate everything you do for the podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning into the Team Sheet Tantrum. I think we had nearly 80 people at one stage watching, which is mind-blowing. We're nearly at the 100. So if you listen to this and you've got friends or family that you think might enjoy a little bit of a to and fro, or want to get their message read out before the game, absolutely, just pop on. Those magical three figures of viewers at any stage that will really, really make our whole existence worth it. I suppose if we could get that before the end of the season, it would be fantastic. But thank you absolutely so much to everybody that does tune in and does listen to the podcast. If you could like us, if you could share us on Twitter, if you could leave a little review of us on iTunes or Spotify or wherever, it just helps us out, and it costs you guys nothing, to help us out and to do that. So as I mentioned, we will be back with an Everton preview. We will be back with a Team Sheet Tantrum before the Everton game, which will be on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. So it will be a live show. So as I said, we'd love for you all to contribute and to watch us on that as well. But look, it's a disappointing day. Yeah, we're frustrated, myself and Paddy. Yeah, we did a bit of giving out tonight, but look, this is a 25-year frustration that we've gotten off our chest tonight, and we're going to get our 26-year frustration off our chest next year if we don't win next year, and 27 the year after, and it will just continue to go on, because this is the hex that they have on us at the moment, and it'll be a very, very good day in Birmingham when we finally break that hold that Manchester United seem to have on us and start to reverse the trend that we tend to see in those games. But everybody stay safe over the course of the week. Aston Villa Football Club are a team very much to be proud of. Don't go after players on social media if you can't help it at all. And let's be better than that. But until the next time, everybody, all that's left to say is Aston Villa are a damn good football team, and up the Villa.
Up the Villa.